What's up everybody? Welcome back to another one of my videos, and in this video we're just going over my league's week 3 matchups and week 2 results as well. So we're going to go over the results first as Mark defeated Mike 7-2. Now I thought this was going to be like the game of the week here. I was wrong. Mark had this matchup throughout the entire week, and it just wasn't close in most categories. Not only did Mark win, but he almost swept his brother. He almost went 9-0. He lost steals by 2 and blocks by 1. Field goal percentage, assists, and turnovers were also pretty close, but not as close as steals and blocks. Mark was closer to sweeping Mike over Mike actually being able to win 5-4. Next up, we have is Jose defeated Seepers 6-3. Seeper has Carl Anthony Towns, and he's currently hurt. And Jose's team's been on an absolute tear right now. He just has the perfect team right now, in my opinion. And only one category was close in this matchup, and Seeper is lucky Jose didn't take the percentage category from him, as those were also close. So it could have even gone worse than 6-3 for Seeper. All right, so next up we have is Skylar defeated Rick 8-1. Bad break after bad break after bad break for Rick. That was the name of the game for Rick's matchup this week. As every day I looked at his matchup, and I just see something weird. Like either Dallin Wright just had an absolutely garbage game, which is, it's going to happen because it's Dallin Wright, or James Harden sprains his ankle and he's out. There was a few odd and end things that happened with him, with Rick's team throughout the week, and this is the result. He was still close. So the matchup itself was actually a lot closer than it would appear if you just looked at the 8-1 final score. Skylar won points by 53 points, and that's pretty significant. But just think about it: like Rick lost James Harden for a game, among other players, while Skylar does have Ja Morant and he's out. I feel like if Rick played Harden, if Harden played for Rick this entire week, it would have been much closer. It would have been at least I would say between like a 15-point differential instead of like a 53-point differential. Skylar also won blocks by only 2 and steals by only 4. Now, Skylar did win threes by 10, by 10 over 10 threes, and maybe Rick wouldn't have been able to win that anyway. But I mean, that's still very close considering how bad everything went for Rick this week. And the free throw percentage could have gone either way. It was within 1%. All it took was another Harden game where he went 12 for 12 from the line, and Rick may have won that. So him losing Harden again for a second week really hurt Rick again. So I fully expect Rick to bounce back this week. His team should. I expect a win out of Rick's team because you just don't get this many bad breaks, I don't think. Knock on wood, guys, because I don't want to jinx him now. All right, so next up we have is Jason defeated Best 5-4. So only the defensive categories were close in this game, as Jason won by 1 steal and 3 blocks. Everything else was a substantial difference, and I thought this may have been a bit of a closer matchup, and I'm also surprised that Best team did not win. Coming into the season, I thought he had a much better team, and I thought he would be winning. I don't know how to say it. Like I thought he would be winning, and he would be winning like a good portion. Like 5-4 is like a close matchup, but I thought he'd be winning like 6-3, 7-2. I thought his team was that good coming out of the draft. All right, and the last matchup is I defeated Adam 5-4. This was the matchup of the week, as Adam and my team came down to the final games. It came down to the final day as well, as Adam was up going into Sunday. He was up 6-3, but my team picked up. So basically, what happened throughout the week is my team picked up a ton of injuries, but managed to play perfect basketball on Sunday. Like Devin Booker had his best game of the season for me. Zach LaVine had by far his best game of the season for me. Nurkic didn't kill me. Um, I had Jaylen Brown, who's been doing Jaylen Brown things, and D. Russell has been. He had his best shooting game of the season, all around game really, and Malik Beasley finally showed up for me. So a lot of things went right for me. While for Adam, I know he had like Kawhi Leonard and Lou Williams. They didn't step up for him, among other players. Uh, I can't think of who else didn't step up for him, but he just had a poor Sunday. Oh, and like Paul Millsap and Will Barton, he had a few other players, but I don't remember them. So when my team played on Sunday, I overcame field goal percentage and assist. I ended up winning assist by 10, but I was down in the day as Booker really went off with this. Well, my whole team did really well with the assist, and then my team just shot the best it did on any day throughout the season. On Sunday, I shot like close to 60%, and I overcame. And Adam's team shot like 35%, 39%, somewhere in between that range, and just helped me substantially because I was like 1.5% down in field goal percentage, and I just managed to pull it off. My team came through for me. All right, so after 2 weeks, these are my standings right now. So in my division, we have Jason leading, but my division's kind of funny because we have 3 500 teams and then 2 below 500 teams, and Rick's just been having that bad luck. He's at the bottom of the barrel right now, but I do expect that's going to change at some point. Like I don't think he's going to get bad break after bad break the whole season. Again, knock on wood. But I do think his team's a lot better than his record shows right now. But I just don't understand, going back up to the top, I don't understand how Jason's team's #1, my team's #2, and then best team's #3. You'd think I would either be 3 or 1 because of my 2 ties, even though I have the 500% as well. I just think that's kind of funny that 9 and 9 teams above me and below me. So I don't know how ESPN calculated that one out. So, and again, this appears to be anyone's division after 2 weeks. We have a long way to go. A lot of basketball to be played, but as of right now, the top 4 teams are basically as even as you can get, with Adam being only 1 game behind. And then in the evens, that's where the strongest teams have come out so far. We have Skylar's team, who defeated Rick 8-1. So I think that's how his record is so good right now. And then we have Jose and Mark tied at 11-7, and those 2 teams, they're only 11-7, but I expect them to hold this pace at least, as those 2 teams have come strong out of the gate. I was a believer in Mark's team coming out of the draft. I was not a believer in Jose's team, but his team has been playing great so far. So I wouldn't be surprised if he continues to play this well and pick up a 61 win percentage throughout the season. Then we have Seeper and Mike's team to round out the evens list. So right now, Seeper, I believe he's in a bit of trouble here. Karl Anthony Towns is down. He has a pretty decent team behind that, but without Karl Anthony Towns, it's going to be hard for him to win. He's going to have weeks where he has extra players going, I believe. And hopefully I'm not jinxing that by any means, because I play him this week and I hope I don't get slaughtered. I have a ton of injuries. It's not good. So this might be the perfect opportunity for Seeper to come through and get a big like 6-3, 7-2 win and pull back up to over 500. And then for Mike, Luka's just been struggling. I can't think of off the top of my head who else he has on his team, but I do know mainly Luka has just been struggling to start the season. He has Luka. Once Luka turns it around, I expect Mike's team to bounce back. All right, so before we get into the week 3 matchups, I just want to go over injuries a little bit and load management. So James Harden sprained his right ankle and he's game to game. Luka Doncic has a bruised quad in his game to game. Karl Anthony Towns, nothing's changed with him. Michael Porter Jr. is in COVID protocol, so he's going to be out for most of this week. Darius Garland has a right shoulder strain and is game to game. That's why he had such a bad game against Atlanta. Lauri Markkanen has a calf contusion, which is why he began missing games, and then now he's out because of COVID protocol, or maybe he caught COVID. I forget what the statement is, but he's out at least this week. Kevin Love has a right calf strain, and his status is basically unknown at this point. He's expected to miss time though. Danilo Gallinari is his foot's bothering him, and as far as I know, he's still just day to day. Alec Burks has a left ankle sprain, and he's game to game. He is currently out though, so you can put him on your IR. TJ Warren has a foot stress he has a stress fracture in his foot. It required surgery. He's out indefinitely. He's going to miss a good portion of the season. So again, it looks like he may be the biggest bust early on in the season. That's at a Nurkic at least. All right, next up we have is LaMarcus Aldridge, who has sore knee, and his status is unknown. And the reason that this is important is because Aldridge is a much older player, and when you get older and when you have those sore knees, those types of problems tend to last, and they tend to last throughout the season. So I expect this to be a problem for LaMarcus Aldridge all year round. And last up we have is Josh Jackson, who has a right knee injury. I didn't get to see anything about it. I have Josh Jackson, but his status as of right now, I just checked, his status is unknown. All right, so players who return from injury include Kawhi Leonard from his mouth, Draymond Green from his foot, Clint Capella from his Achilles, Jimmy Butler from his right ankle stiffness. Now, I do believe at some point Butler is going back on the IR. He looked horrendous on his one game back, and I do believe it's because of his right ankle, so be wary of Butler's ankle, guys. Next up, we have is Derek White with his toe. Now, Derek White, he played one game and he sat out last night. I can see this being a trend for at least this upcoming week, maybe even the following week, as he gets back into game shape and his toe gets used to the grind of the NBA season and game by game. And last up we have is, I think a surprise, is Rui Hachimura, who had an eye injury, but he was supposed to be out for at least 3 weeks. He's already back. And I think he's actually playing pretty well too, if I'm not mistaken. All right, and I just have this nice little list down here with the back-to-back load management, just so everyone knows and remembers. Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Victor Oladipo, Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose, and Blake Griffin are all on that list. And I haven't added anyone new from last week yet. I haven't noticed anyone else who is sitting in back-to-backs, but I may have to add more people, or maybe I will even be able to get to subtract some people throughout the season. I'm hoping I get to subtract, as it's better when these players play, specifically Embiid, Davis, and even Oladipo, and Westbrook, of course. All right, so now we're going into our MyLeague's Week 3 matchups. And first up we have is Rick versus Mike. Now, if you look, the teams are the drafted teams still. I do plan on updating that, if not this upcoming week, the week after, as teams have changed significantly due to free agent pickups and all of that. And if you look at the ESPN projections, I also am going to have to update that. And next week, I do plan on bringing out how to gauge your category teams in a much easier fashion. So you want to look out for that video. It will be next week after we get a good solid 10 to 12 games, and I feel like that's the best time to bring it out. But anyway, so I'm not going to go over projections as much as I'm just going to look at the totals for each team. So Mike has 2 more players playing this week, which bodes well with him. And for the matchup breakdown, which I'm basing off my current season stats, which I will go into more in depth next week in that video I just talked about. So right now, Rick is going to be favored in threes and blocks, while Mike's favored in assists and points. Now, it could go either way in the rest of the categories, which include field goal percentage, free throw percentage, rebounds, steals, and turnovers. So this, I think, that's going to be a fun matchup for both teams. And Rick, I feel like he needs a big win this week, so hopefully he gets a strong shooting week, and he can focus on some of the wholesale. I call them the wholesale categories, like rebounds, steals, turnovers, the whole numbers. Alright, so next up we have is Jason versus Mark. Now, Mark's team has 2 more players playing this week, which bodes well for him. And based off current season stats, Jason is only favored in assists right now. So Mark can really come out and put. Oh, excuse me. All right, so Mark can really come out and have, if he has a strong week this week, he could overtake the strong division because I believe he's 11-7 right now. He could catch up to Skylar and maybe even take the top spot in his respective division this week because he's favored in field goal percentage, free throw percentage, threes, rebounds, blocks, and points. And it's only going to be close in steals and turnovers. So this is a great week. This can potentially be a great week for Mark's team to pick up some extra wins. Next up, we have is Jose versus Best. And this week, Jose has 50. He has 52 players playing, which is 3 more than Best team, and I think that's going to help him as he's already favored in rebounds, steals, blocks, and turnovers, while Best is only favored in free throw percentage and points. And it could go either way in field goal percentage, 3-pointers, and assists. Now, I do know Best still does have the best free throw shooting team, while Jose has the worst, but anything can happen. And this is one of those weeks where, just like Mark's team, he has the extra players. He can pick up some extra wins and keep pace with Mark and Skylar in his respective division, as he's already favored in 4 categories. And if his team shoots well, and even though it can go either way in 3-pointers or assists, since he has those 3 extra guys, that could be all the difference to pick up a big 6-3, 7-2 win. So I do think Best is in trouble this week. All right, next up we have is Skylar versus Adam, where this is the most even as you could get with the teams, at least for my league this week, as Skylar only has 1 extra player playing. So Skylar is favored in free throw percentage, threes, blocks, and points, while Adam's favored in field goal percentage, rebounds, and turnovers, and it could go either way in assists and steals. So it's going to be interesting if Skylar, with the slow start to his season with Karl Anthony Towns getting injured, it's going to be interesting to see if he could pick up a big W this week. As Adam's team, so far, he lost to Jose's team, and he got unlucky against my team last week. So he's 0-2, but he's like I said, he's 8-10 in the standings. So if he could come out and have a strong week, he could get back to 500, or maybe even better. And the last matchup we have is my team versus Seeper. Oh, wait. I was thinking, hold on, let's go back to Skylar's team. All right. So I messed this up. So Skylar's team, I was thinking Seeper. So Skylar's team has 1 extra person against Adam. Now, Skylar picked up a big win against Rick, 8-1 last week, and it would have been a lot closer, but bad break after bad break. So in any case, this is still Skylar's matchup to win him in my mind, in my eyes, as he's favored in 4 categories, and he can easily win a 5th, maybe even a 6th. So Adam lost, his first 2 weeks. Adam's going to need to have a big week to pick up assists and steals if he could hold the 3 categories he's favored in, and maybe he could get lucky in one of the other categories. I'm sorry about that, guys. I was completely messed that one up, but it's okay. So Skylar, he may come back down to earth this weekend. If he does, this is a prime opportunity for Mark and Jose to catch up to him in the standings. All right, and the last the last matchup, I'm frazzled by messing up the last matchup. All right, so the last matchup is my team versus Seepers' team. So Seeper has 2 more guys playing, and even though mine says 53, it's actually going to be lower than that because I have so many guys day-to-day and out. I have 6 injuries. This is going to be a huge week for Seeper to get some good, to pick up a big win, as my team is... I have a lot of injuries and I have some cold days. If he can pull it together, if he can pull together a strong week without Karl Anthony Towns, maybe he could go back into hit the race for the division title. So I'm only favored in field goal percentage and points, while Seeper's only favored in free throw percentage and turnovers. and it can go either way in threes, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. This can be a hell of a matchup with all those whole number categories. That's a lot. That's 5 that could go either way, and Seeper has the players going to win those matchups. So I heavily feel I think Seeper is the heavy favorite in this matchup, and he should be. If I'm in Seeper's position, I look at my team. I'm like, okay, if I only win 5-4, that's a loss in my mind. Like, he needs to come out and he needs to try and get a 6-3, 7-2 win to get back into close to or over 500. All right, guys, remember, please like this video if you just enjoy watching MyLeague videos. I'm going to continue making them for me and my league mates. I enjoy them, so I'm going to keep doing it. And make sure you subscribe to my channel for more fantasy basketball content all season long, as I am going to be bringing out new things every week, I hope. Or at least maybe the same things, but informative information that you will enjoy. And maybe it'll help you win your league, you know? All right, guys, that's all I have for you. Have a good day.